Hi guys, I'm Etta Rosa with Etta Rosa LLC. It's a paralegal firm and we also do plenty of consultation for law firms. And when I do these consultations, of course, the first question is, how can I fix my business? And the hard truth is that it starts in management. Sorry. So there's these two concepts. The first one is guilt management, and the other one is time management. So, are you managing your time because you feel guilty and you're trying to overcompensate or trying to change something? Or are you actually managing your time through an internal and external process? So a lot of people are like, well, what does that mean? And okay, how do I do that? So that's where I come in. And that's where I start your consultation. And that's where we start from A to Z, everything ins and outs of your life, both personal, professional, meetings, hearings, how do you prepare for a trial, to how do you prepare for a client meeting, to how do you prepare for a hearing. Now, in this world, there's plenty of procrastinators and there's plenty of quote unquote perfectionists. And if you've seen my perfection of imperfection video, you'll know that there's no such thing as perfection. And if you are a procrastinator, well, you already know what the issue is, because if you're leaving everything for last minute, then that's not a good thing. Usually I tell my clients that you should start preparing for that hearing, for that trial, mediation, client meeting, as soon as you plan it. So let's say you set it 30 months or 30 days or 30 hours in advance. As soon as you plan it, that's when you should start preparing. That's when you can assure yourself you have plenty of time to prepare for this particular situation, especially if the client is what we nicely call difficult or challenging or needy or just requires extra attention in general. Or it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, a client is a client. They should all be treated equally. But we know that sometimes that's just not possible. The hard truth, especially if you're preparing for a trial that's in a week. My go-to thing is, if you're preparing for a trial and it's a week away, unless it was an emergency hearing or a motion in limine that just all of a sudden appeared, no, you shouldn't be. That week should be to make sure that you have everything printed and that everything is correct and that you have your tabs in order, your highlights in order. All that should be within that week. But you should not be filing or setting motions or anything like that a week in advance. Unless, like I said, it was an emergency or it was a one-off situation where defense or plaintiff counsel just said, you know what, let me just throw this in there last minute and see what the judge says. So I always tell especially my attorneys, because mostly in small law firms, the attorney is the manager, or they do have an office manager that manages like the HR side of it, but they are what I call the last call. They're the ones that make the last decision. They're the ones that approve certain costs. They're the ones that are pretty much large and in charge. And sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's a bad thing. You need to analyze and you need to review that, because at the end of the day, you need help and you can't do it all. You can't be in court and paying your employees at the same time. So you need to know when you draw the line, what your boundaries are, because you don't want to be overly exhausted and lose a trial because you weren't properly prepared. And that's pretty much that. So remember, guilt management versus time management. Very important, especially for attorneys. If you need anything, let me know.